I got my Rane Performer here. Basically, I have a Rane 72, and the Rane 72, I'm really harsh on my up and down faders, so I kind of borrowed one from my Rane Performer. So I got a Mag 4 that came in. So I borrowed the fader from my Performer, and I'm going to put it in here. So to access that, you just gotta, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. And you just use a small Phillips screwdriver. I think I'm using like a number 2. I don't know off the top of my head. This is an old screwdriver. And so basically you remove these screws, and that takes off this plate. Now this is a lot nicer. I had a Rane 1, and I never had to replace the fader on that because I didn't have it long enough. But these Mag 4 faders are really nice. I've been DJing a long time, so it used to be if your fader went out, you had to, because they were soldered in, they weren't modules that plugged in and stuff, you had to have somebody take it apart and rewire a new one. They weren't replaceable. I think Vestex was one of the first companies that did that, where you could replace the fader. And so once you remove those buttons, then you remove these knobs off the faders, and they're kind of hard. I found it works best if you take like a little flathead screwdriver and just kind of wedge in there. And so when you take that plate off, there's this little thing right here. Now on this is interesting. It's a different type of screw. It's like a T, I don't know if it's a T10 or what it is. I'll tell you in a second. I think it's a T10. Let's see if a T10 works. Yep. So it's a T10 for these screws right here. So I gotta remember, these two don't really hold anything. I think if you just remove these two, it pulls up that little plate. All right, and then so because I already pulled that the other fader out, that's the little plug. It just plugs into this fader here. Okay. Now what comes in the package is your fader, your Mag 4 fader. This little deal right here. Okay. And this gets plugged into right here. So what you want to do is you want to look, and you'll see that there's a little groove, and there's 2 little nodules. I'll try to hold it and zoom in on the camera so you can see. See those 2 nodules? They're gonna fit in that little pocket. In other words, this only plugs in one way, like that. Make sure it's in there securely. And then this goes in right like this. Now what you need to do though is secure that to this plate before you set it in there. Now I'm going to replace the screws because in the packaging it comes with new screws. Somewhere, I think I lost it on the box here. They're there. Like I said, I had to replace. What I did is I borrowed this fader and put it in my 72. I'll do a video on how to replace the fader on the 72 as well. Or no, 70. I'm sorry, I got a 70. Got a lot of Rane products. So what I'm going to do is I got to take this off. And so I ended up with an extra button. Oh, can I fit that in there? Let me see. Whoa. Big brain. And so then I'm going to put this little screw right here. And now, interestingly, and this was only on the Rane 4, and it was just those. I wonder if they ran out of screws or something when they were building the Performer. Because on my Rane 72, the screws did not have a T10 head. They were just Phillips. I don't know why I keep calling it. The difference between a 70 and the 72 is basically the 72 has a display screen. Since I'm one of those old school DJs, I don't need the display screen. Although on the Rane Performer, they have the screen locked in the wheels, which is kind of nice. I don't mind it. All right. Now we just got to put it back together. And so then the next thing I do is I just place this cover back on and replace the screws, and we're done. And that's it. And I just want to check this real quick. One thing that I forgot to do was mention, and you could see videos of this on YouTube, is that every time you buy one of these faders, it comes with a little thing of lubricant. I don't use the lubricant because you can see it's pretty loose. That's the nice thing about these magnetic things. So let me show you that real quick. They have a magnetic tension on these faders that you can adjust. It's really just a regular standard screw. So if you take this off, oh boy, this is going to be challenging. See that screw right there? That screw. If you tighten it, it tightens the tension. If you loosen it, it loosens. And this is just a magnet. This screw is just a magnet. So if I tighten it, it gets closer to this bar. And I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. If I tighten it, it gets closer to this bar and it increases the tension. And then if I loosen it, it loosens the tension. And then you could take this, and I don't use this, but you can actually take this lubricant and put it on and that'll slide it a little better. You want to put it on the top one. Okay, the bottom one is with the actual contact. That's it.